Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse. Te kore mako o Taranaki 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, whānau, we are privileged to welcome a rangatira of our rohe, a man whose name is synonymous with leadership, service and Māori rugby, Tokatumoana Walden, known officially as Toka. He has been a driving force behind the growth and the legacy of Māori Rugby Union in Taranaki and beyond, from grassroots to governance. His contribution spans decades, culminating in last year's centennial celebrations of Taranaki Māori Tribal Rugby. No mai, hara mai e te rangatira. Toka, kia ora, bro.
Yeah, kia ora there, Nahina. Hey, gee, you flower it up for me, you know, but no, it's great to be here on the show, and to the whānau who are listening, and that a big mihi to you koutou, to everyone. The times are pretty challenging out there, and in sport and in lots of circles and stuff like that, but you know, keep calm, stay safe, and keep a focus on, you know, your goals and aspirations that you want to achieve for the year as a whānau and as a community.
Beautiful, love that. Good segue into our kōrero today. Now we're going to have an awesome kōrero about Māori rugby here in Taranaki, but first and foremost, can you take us back to where your Māori Rugby Union journey began? What inspired you to get involved?
Oh, it sort of goes back on my playing. I started down in Taranaki here, playing Māori Tribal Rugby, and really enjoyed that after a big hit out on the Saturday with Rahotu and Okato, the teams that I played for, and we fronted up on Sunday in Tribal Rugby. And yeah, I learned the trade there a little bit, and then headed to Manawatu and played for the Manawatu Māoris as well. And had a great time down there while I was training to be a teacher. And yeah, at that time too, I made the Māori under-23 side North Island team to tour the East Coast, and you know, that was great too. So it's got some wonderful memories out there in playing the game, and also met a lot of people on those travels and stuff like that. Into sort of the coaching arena too, where I've always had an interest in rugby, a passion for the game, and through my own playing days, and also through my whānau, my kids playing, and I've been heavily involved for a number of years, and yeah, haven't lost the passion, which is it's great that, you know, I want to keep on giving at this stage. It'll come a time when, you know, I'll need to sort of move on, but while I've got that enthusiasm and commitment, I'm keen to contribute to it. So yeah, long history. Love the coaching. It's not so much about rugby only, but it's helping to grow men, and in these days, young women into you know, good people. You know, and making sure that they are resilient and to take on the world as well. And rugby is a vehicle, I suppose. That we can work through and engage with, and to help grow and shape them for the future. You know, we want people, young people, contributing and to our game, but also to our communities, and you know, seeking employment and being able to look after their own families and be self-sustainable for the future. So yeah, no, awesome.
Love it, love it. Now, you've been involved in many roles as a player, a coach, an administrator. But you know, what does Māori rugby mean to you personally, and like how has it shaped your life and the leadership roles that you've been in?
Yeah, no, that's a very, but I think it's really shaped me as a person. It's got me in touch with my taha Māori side, with the reo, also with iwi. Also, it allowed me to sort of grow alongside some key rangatira during that time. And I look up to a lot of players that have gone through that I have fond memories, you know, even in Taranaki with Paul Martin and Paul Wharihoka. And, you know, when I was a young person growing up, they shaped me into who I am, and being passionate about Māori rugby. They all played Māori rugby, and for New Zealand Māori, aspiration was to try and play for New Zealand Māori. I didn't quite get there, but you know, the leadership roles have grown out of those experiences, and you know, I wouldn't change it for anything. You know, the McAllisters, you know, a lot of ones that I grew up. George Ngātai from out the coast. I played with Robert Kurarangi's brother Jimmy, and from over the East Coast, and sort of friendships to this day. Morgan Waitoa. So you know, it is a connection, and it sort of has grounded me as well, to get out there and through the vehicle to help grow our people into fine young men and rangatira, and hopefully that they will embrace their culture, embrace their reo, and through this vehicle, which has been an important part of my life.
Well, beautiful. Well, you've shaped many lives indeed through all your hard mahi and dedication over the years. Now, last year was a real special year that marked the 100 years of Māori rugby in Taranaki. And what did this milestone kind of mean to you and to the wider community? And was there any kind of special moment or memory from that centennial celebration that has really stayed with you ever since?
Yeah, it's great that you sort of mentioned the 100 years. Sometimes you can let it slip by, but that was a milestone, a huge milestone in Taranaki Māori Rugby Football Union history. It was a milestone for a lot of our kaumātua and kuia who had embraced tribal rugby through those times. And, you know, it's just been so memorable to actually reflect over those years. The 100 years was a point in time where we could reflect on, you know, where Māori rugby has come from, and back in 1925 to 2025, you know, or 24, 100 years has gone pretty quickly, and we're still in good shape. The good thing about, you know, the 100-year celebration, it brought all our whānau together, whānau from afar, to come and celebrate this huge milestone. The thing that really sticks in my mind was the celebration of the life members. Some of those names I hadn't heard for a long, long time, but just to be able to acknowledge those people that have contributed so much to Māori rugby throughout Taranaki and even outside of Taranaki, but to get that recognition on a night, you know, at a time where, you know, it was a huge celebration, a huge event, not only for Māori in Taranaki, but for right across Aotearoa. So, been also I think just the way people work together to make it happen, that was memorable. You know, it wasn't just me. It was made up of lots of parts, and everyone played a part. Te korimako, you know, really outstanding contribution they made to the 100 years in helping promote, but also be there on the day. To all the volunteers, to all the iwi as well that came together and sort of made it happen. You know, there's just so many acknowledgements to be made for such a grand occasion and a celebration.
Well, it definitely was an amazing weekend, amazing celebration, and like you said, to honour those that have gone before us, the life members and all the key people that have made Māori rugby and Taranaki so special. Well, whānau, make sure to stay tuned with us. We're going to go to a quick break now and be back to kōrero with Toka more about the up-and-coming AGM for Taranaki Māori Rugby. Kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome back to Te Ao Hākinakina. We're here with a very special guest in Tokatumoana Walden from Taranaki Māori Rugby Football Union. And we're having a good old kōrero here. Now, looking at the 2025 season, how do you think the current state of Māori rugby, not only here in Taranaki, but nationally, is? And what are some of the challenges that we face today with Māori rugby?
Yeah, no, that's interesting that you raised that. It has been challenging, and I think I get the general sense from around the motu for Māori rugby to try and stand on its own. It's a really difficult challenge because there's not so many people playing the game. All unions are pulling on the same players to full squads and stuff like that. So there are definitely some challenges out there for Māori rugby. But I think, the opportunity is now where, we try and draw more people into assisting and being part of the vision for for Māori rugby throughout Aotearoa, but also in Taranaki. We've had our 100-year celebration. I think it's a time for reset, and it'll be a good opportunity now to look out into our communities and get some voices heard around where do they think Māori rugby should be going, and how can we make this happen for our region, for Taranaki. I know with Te Maui and other regions are struggling for Māori players. The numbers have dropped off in regions and stuff like that. So an encouragement to keep promoting the game, and not only for the game itself, but the benefits that it can bring to help grow our young men and young women into adults and with good values, and also a good outlook for the next generation coming through too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love that. Well, we've got a very special hui coming up very shortly. Now, the AGM is coming up shortly. What are some of the key kaupapa or decisions that will be discussed at the hui, and how important are our rangatahi as part of that discussion?
Yeah, definitely tahi is a big focus on this. We're encouraging people to come along to the AGM. It's on Monday the 24th at T&T Multisport Centre, Portia Street, Stratford. We've centralised it so we can get people from the south, from the north, to come along and share your ideas around the development of our rangatahi, under 16, under 18, under 20s, men and women, and also our senior grades of Tāne and Wahine as well. So it's really important that we do get a lot more people along to support the future for Taranaki Māori Rugby at this AGM. There's lots of items to discuss, and with an AGM we have to present accounts and meet all the compliance with an incorporated society, but also this year too, and I think most sports clubs will be well aware that the Incorporated Society Act has made some changes and are asking for Incorporated Society clubs to change and amend their constitutions to align with the new rules. So that's an important discussion that we've got to have in terms of clauses to be included into the constitution going forward. On top of the AGM is an opportunity for us to look at a governance group to move things forward at a strategic level, looking at opportunities around the motu of how we can keep our game alive. We need a lot of people to come in and take up the operations, the coaching, the managing, the organising, so we can get these teams out on the paddock. So yeah, this is a big karanga, a big opportunity for our whānau iwi to come along and have a say, and hopefully we can take on board your dreams and your aspirations for Taranaki Māori Rugby moving into the future.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, there we have it, whānau. The karanga, the wero has been laid Monday the 24th of November out at Whakaurangi, TT Multi-Sport Stadium. Make sure you get along and you support this amazing kaupapa and the amazing mahi that Taranaki Māori Rugby Union are doing with the inclusion of our rangatahi, our waine, our kōrero and the likes. So make sure you get down there and support. Now, finally, what message would you like to share with our whānau listening to the show about the future and the prospects of Māori rugby here in Taranaki and abroad?
Yeah, I think to the whānau, hey, we've got some outstanding talent out there. We've got a lot of our men and women that are sort of just not sort of coming forward and wanting to play for their iwi and wanting to play for their clubs and their community and stuff like that. You know, we need to change that, and we need whānau to help drive other whānau and keep them in the game. And would love to see a big outcome of our whānau turning up at the AGM just to shape the future for Taranaki Māori Rugby here in Taranaki.
Tēnei te mei nui ki a koe e toka mō tō kaha, tō manawa nui mō tō aroha ki te iwi me te Hākinakina Māori. Your legacy is woven into the fabric of our rugby story here in Taranaki. We honour you for your tireless service. May your journey continue to inspire the next generation of Māori leaders and players. Ngā mihi mai o ha ngā manaakitanga o te wā, ki a koe, ki a kaha, ki a maia, ki a manawa nui. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yep. Kia ora nahina, koutou mai I wakorongo mai ki ngā kōrero tēnei pō. He mihi kawaki ana ki a koutou, e toro atu ki a koutou. Nau mahara mai ki te hui ātau. Nā reira, I raro I te awatanga o tō tate nei. Maunga tītoia, tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou katoa.
Mauri ora.